Welcome to the Homeownership Podcast presented by Momentum Realty, located in Hanover, Massachusetts. This series covers all things real estate and the best practices for buying, selling, and owning properties. Now here's your host, Sean Maloney.
Welcome to episode 103, the do's and don'ts when buying new construction. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Maloney. Thanks for joining me this week. This week I want to talk to you about a subject I'm pretty passionate about, and that's buying new construction. Love the idea of it. Everyone loves brand new things, right? We love the smell of brand new. We love that it's built for us, but I want to go over the do's and don'ts and how to stay out of trouble and why is there so much trouble in new construction? Like, where do you need to watch out and where do you need to splurge and enjoy? So first off, I want to take one common misconception, stomp it out right away. Do have a home inspection to ensure the quality of materials and craftsmanship. Just because it was built right now doesn't mean it was built correctly. So realize that not all contractors, workers, not all quality of materials is the same, right? So we want to make sure when we buy a brand new construction, we're holding them accountable to one level or another. We want two different types of inspections. One we want to have is where we walk through and we do a bullet point of what needs to be touched up, fixed up, things like that. The other one is we want an actual home inspection. A lot of people say, well, I'm not going to spend the money on a home inspection because it's brand new. I don't suggest you do that. I really suggest you do get that home inspection. And again, you do also set up with them that you're going to do a punch list. When buying new construction, it's really, really important to assume that nothing is understood unless it's in writing. Whether it's a change order or the original offer, you really want it in writing. So when we're making offers on new construction, they don't exist yet. We're going to want to line item out a lot of stuff. We're going to want to get an attorney involved. Not just a real estate agent, which is very important, a good realtor to help you with the process, but also a good attorney, because we're going to want good spec sheets. When they say they're going to pave the driveway, is it 2 inches of pavement? Is it 4 inches of pavement? Is it 20 feet wide? Is it 10 feet wide? These are the types of things when we use little random things that could have some ambiguity to them, like we could end up in a situation where we have a huge argument because it says install sink and kitchen, and they run down to the depot, they grab what is the cheapest sink there and they throw it in, and all along the lines you thought you were getting this nice big stainless steel sink. So we want to specify as much as we can when we're doing it. And whenever anything changes, whenever somebody makes a change, we want to sign off on that change so that we don't end up in a situation where that builder thinks that we changed something and they didn't agree to it, or thinks they're going to pull a fast one and say they didn't change anything. You may notice I take kind of a negative tone to new construction. It's not a negative tone, actually. It's a business mindset. It's a practical, pragmatic thought process that this person is trying to sell me something that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, and I need to make sure what I'm getting is what I'm contracted for. But also realize, right, contracts are great in both directions. Because the contractor can say to you, listen, we already talked about this and you get these appliances, not those appliances, versus leaving it up for argument in the future. That always in writing thing is huge. Another thing I want you to pay attention when you do a new construction is who you hire, right? Don't just go at random. Make sure you buy from a trusted builder that has good sources that can basically give you sort of a home warranty idea. A lot of them have it where they actually say, okay, for the first year I'll come back and tighten cabinets, screw in light fixtures, anything that kind of goes wrong. Whereas sometimes the onesie twosie house guys, not that they're not good, there could be plenty of them that are amazing out there, I'm sure, but you want to make sure they're reputable and that you've heard of other people that have had both good and problems, and when they did have problems, you want to just hear that they were able to solve the problems. During this process, there's a lot going on, so there are going to be problems. It's really about having somebody that has the experience and the knowledge of having run into certain issues already and being ready to deal with them for you. Because remember, when you buy a new construction, there's a lot of variables, right? You have, okay, we're going to put in the foundation this weekend, then it rains for 2 weeks, so we have time expectations. We have, okay, the materials are going to cost this much, and now the president changed and he decided to axe a certain industry, and the next thing you know, materials go through the roof, similar to what's happening right now, right? We just changed election series, and we found out that a lot of people who have contracts on new build, that the lumber is going to cost more money than it did yesterday because regulation has changed. These are the things that are real life variables that a good contractor knows how to deal with. A good contractor will make you aware of what's going on, but also you'll feel good about the situation in the aspect of you're in good hands and the people that you've known and also trust this person. Now, when we're working in new construction, oftentimes people will try to finagle you into not working with an agent. Builders and stuff, they might try to say that you'll get a discount and everything. The truth is, no, they don't do any discounts or anything. It just makes it easier for them to take advantage of you in the situation. So do work with a realtor who understands new construction. Over at Movementum Realty, we call all of our agents Move Mentors because they mentor you on the entire process of buying, selling, and owning a home. And they're all trained to guide you throughout this entire process. Don't go at it alone. It's a big process. And when you go at it alone, there's a lot that can get burnt. Another thing on the do's and don'ts. Don't harass the builder. Don't just show up at the job site. Don't just think that you're the foreman. Don't try to correct his workers. Here's a list of those don'ts, right? So don't harass them all the time. They don't need your phone call all the time. Do stay on top of them in an idea of not going months without seeking advice of where they're at and stopping by a job site to make sure. But do not be the person that thinks you're going to call them every day to get an update. They have a lot more going on. Also, don't be the person that's going to go to the job site and think that they understand, because realize sometimes things happen, like the floors are dirty because they're still working and they're going to clean them and polish them at the end and they don't have the finish coat on them. People don't know how construction goes, so sometimes they go and they get offended. So they cuss out a builder or one of the workers who's like, I don't know why this person's talking to me because I'm not the boss and I'm just doing what I'm told over here. So don't do that. And another thing is just don't get into people's hair on the idea of, like, obviously you have to speak up for yourself when there's a real problem, right? You really have to make sure that when there's a real problem, you hit it right in the head and you don't hide from it. But bringing up things just because you don't like the way that they deal with it, certainly your job site, if you own the property, you can talk to them about, please don't leave your trash out on the yard because there's neighbors here, different things like that, of course. But when you're all over them all the time, it leads to problems. Contractors are a bit of hotheads a lot of times, and they get mad when people yell at them about things, even if it makes sense to the owner who wants it done that way. So just keep that in mind. And another thing you can do is, treat them nice. Get food, get some coffee for them, stop by with some waters on a hot day. Having great contractors is very difficult to find. So when you have great contractors, you want them to love working for you. Also, the people who build your home, you really want them to care about their job and to see you as a good client, to see you as a person that they want to go that extra special mile for because you went that extra special mile for them. Now let's talk about the other things with new construction. So new construction is a very interesting place, right? The pricing they always put up there. They say, oh, it's $600,000. By the time you go with the customs and all that stuff, you're going to be looking at increases. I'm just not going to shoot from the hip, but I'd seen anywhere from, say, 5 to 20% increases in price based on customization. So realize when you see that out-of-the-box price, it usually doesn't include everything that you see in the photos, as well as it doesn't include everything you dream of. When you do work with the builder, usually at that situation, we meet with them, and we go pick out the actual supplies, and they'll tell you what they had slated for a budget for the supplies if you go with the existing list price. Because you can go with the existing list price again, but usually it doesn't have a lot of the customizations that people seek out. Other things to think about with new construction is making sure when you're buying in an area, you find out about the area, find out from the town, was it a wetland that they built around? Is it nice high dry ground? What's the feeling of the town? Is it a private or a public road? Are there going to be homeowner association fees, or is it going to be released to a regular town? These are all important things to know ahead of getting involved. Getting involved with the house, once you start in a new construction and you're actually building it, there's a lot that's going to go on and you're pretty dedicated to it. So you want to make sure you get all the questions answered ahead of getting into the contract, and that way you know where you're headed. Well, I hope this helps you with some of the do's and don'ts when buying new construction. Remember, you always want to work with a realtor. You want to work with someone over here at Movementum Realty called our Move Mentors. They'll guide you on the process. They'll make sure you understand the entire way. And they'll make sure that your new construction purchase goes just how it should, which should be an amazing experience into a beautiful home that was built just for you, just the way you wanted it, brand new and ready for you to make memories there for the rest of the time that you own that home. Thanks again for listening. If you haven't already, pound that subscribe button for me. Go ahead and give me a couple likes over there. Check out our Facebook group, our blog, our newsletter. Lots of great free information on buying, selling, and owning homes. I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great week.